Do you believe there are a substantial number of people at Harvard University who believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews?
I do.
That's a yes.
Yes.
And do you believe those people have acted on their self-anointed right to harass Jews?
Yes.
And has the administration at Harvard University allowed that to happen?
Yes.
Is that true at University of California at Berkeley?
Yes.
How about UCLA?
Yes.
How about NYU?
Yes.
A lot of other universities too. Isn't that the case?
That is correct.
Now, Title VI says that if you receive federal money, you can't harass Jews. Isn't that true?
That is correct.
Has the Biden-Harris administration taken away the money of Harvard?
No.
How about Berkeley?
Nope.
How about UCLA?
No, sir.
How about NYU?
No.
They've just talked, haven't they?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you think this condoned behavior at these universities, this condoned belief at these universities, and let me state it again, they believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, and the right to harass Jews. That's what they believe. What you do is what you believe. Everything else is just cottage cheese. Do you think that is consistent with their mission as universities?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So above and beyond the question of money, it is the morality, the purpose of higher education in America, is it not?
That is correct.
Ms. Berry, you are the executive director of the Arab American Institute. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay. And according to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's Platform Standing Committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You support Hamas, do you not?
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very effective way.
Let's start first with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer, and I appreciate it. What is the, you support Hezbollah too, don't you?
Again, I find this line of questioning extraordinarily disappointing,
Is that a
Senator.
no?
That
Or
you have Arab American constituents that you represent in your great state.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but my time's limited, and I apologize, but is that a yes or a no?
Yes or no question to do I support Hezbollah? The answer is I don't support violence, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, or any other entity that invokes it.
You can't
so
bring
no,
yourself
sir.
to say no, can you?
No, I can say no. I can say yes.
But
what
you
I
haven't.
can say is
You just
your
can't
line
make
of
yourself
questioning.
do it. Do you
Senator,
support or oppose Iran and their hatred of Jews?
Again, I'm going to emphasize Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, none of them is going to,
You can't bring yourself to say no, can
Sir,
you?
I don't support.
It's real simple.
Excuse me. I'm going to,
Ian,
if I may, as a Muslim woman, sir, I'm going to tell you I do not support Iran. But what I will tell you is that this conversation.
I'm running out of time. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You called our decision to cut funding. You called our decision to cut fund. Well, first, what's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency?
It's UNRWA, which is
Yeah.
the institution that exists to provide services and aid to the nearly 6 million Palestinian refugees.
And you called our decision to cut funding for them, quote, an incredible moral failure, close quote.
That is absolutely correct. But again, I would suggest that conversation is about foreign policy.
We did that because 9 UNRWA staff members were fired for actually helping Hamas on October 7th. Isn't that the case?
I don't believe that that's correct in terms
Let
of...
me ask you one more time. You support Hamas, don't you? You
Sir.
support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not
You
support
can't
Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do
to
not
say
support Hamas
You don't
or
support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very
support
clear in my support for
Hezbollah,
UNRWA.
and you don't
I
support Iran.
oppose-
You should hide your head in a bag.
Your time has expired. Please, Ms. Berry, I'm going to allow you to respond to any one or all of those questions at this point.
Senator Durbin, thank you very much for holding this hearing and for elevating the issue of hate crime. It's regrettable that as I sit here, have experienced the very issue that we're attempting to deal with today. The introduction of foreign policy is not how we keep Arab Americans or Jewish Americans or Muslim Americans or Black people or Asian Americans, anybody safe. This has been regrettably a real disappointment, but very much an indication of the danger to our democratic institutions that we're in now. And I deeply regret that, and I do hope that my testimony today has been helpful to understanding the need to respond to hate.
The functions of a congressional oversight hearing often oscillate between two poles: the gathering of empirical data and the public testing of ideological positions. On September 17, 2024, the Senate Judiciary Committee convened a session that perfectly illustrated this tension, focusing on the rise of antisemitism and the administrative response of elite American universities. To understand the latest updates in this ongoing national debate, we must first examine the legal mechanism at the heart of the discussion, Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Title VI serves as the primary federal lever for ensuring equality in educational institutions. It stipulates that any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance is prohibited from discriminating on the basis of race, color, or national origin. In the context of 2024 and 2026 legal interpretations, national origin has been broadly understood to include shared ancestry or ethnic characteristics, which encompasses Jewish, Muslim, and Arab students. When Senator John Kennedy questioned witnesses regarding the environment at institutions like Harvard, UCLA, and UC Berkeley, he was probing the compliance status of these universities. The educational core of this line of questioning rests on a simple premise: if a university condones an environment where harassment is pervasive, they are theoretically in violation of their federal contract. The discourse then shifted toward the executive branch's role in enforcement. A critical point of analysis is the withdrawal of funds. While the Biden-Harris administration has initiated numerous Office for Civil Rights (OCR) investigations, the actual removal of federal funding remains an extreme administrative remedy that is rarely invoked. This creates a disconnect between legislative expectations and executive execution. By asking if the administration has taken away the money, the inquiry highlights the gap between rhetorical condemnation and fiscal penalty. For the audience, it is vital to understand that while a university's mission is rooted in higher learning and the exchange of ideas, its legal eligibility for federal research grants and student aid is tied directly to its ability to maintain a non-discriminatory environment. The hearing took a dramatic and controversial turn during the testimony of Maya Berry, the executive director of the Arab American Institute. This segment serves as a case study in adversarial examination. Senator Kennedy's line of questioning, specifically asking a witness if they support foreign terrorist organizations like Hamas or Hezbollah, moves the conversation from domestic policy to the realm of personal and organizational affiliation. From a procedural standpoint, witnesses in these hearings are expected to provide clarity on their policy positions. Ms. Berry's response, emphasizing that she does not support violence or foreign terrorist organizations, highlighted a significant friction point in modern political discourse: the distinction between advocating for a specific demographic, in this case, Arab Americans and Palestinians, and endorsing the actions of militant groups. This exchange also brought the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, or UNRWA, back into the legislative spotlight. The decision to cut funding to UNRWA, as mentioned in the testimony, was a direct response to allegations that staff members were involved in the October 7th attacks. This highlights the conditionality of aid. In the world of international policy, the U.S. government uses funding as a tool of accountability. When a witness describes the cutting of such funds as a moral failure, and a legislator describes it as a security necessity, the audience is witnessing a fundamental clash of frameworks: humanitarianism versus national security. The conclusion of the hearing, marked by the intervention of Chairman Dick Durbin, provided a necessary counterweight to the preceding confrontation. Senator Durbin's remarks emphasized the human cost of hate on both sides of the domestic divide. By mentioning the security at synagogues and the tragic death of a 6-year-old Palestinian boy, Wadia Al-Faim, the chairman sought to broaden the scope of the one health of our democracy. Educationally, this reminds us that the Judiciary Committee's mandate isn't just to enforce laws, but to preserve common decency and democracy. Furthermore, the reference to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the closing moments underscores the historical continuity of these struggles. The debate over diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, as a philosophy versus its practical application on campus remains one of the most contentious issues of the decade. While some view these programs as essential for protecting marginalized groups, others, like Senator Kennedy, argue that they have inadvertently created a culture where certain types of harassment are tolerated under the guise of activism. As we analyze these proceedings, the link with latest updates is clear. The legal battles over Title VI are moving from committee rooms to the federal courts. Universities are now facing a double bind where they must protect the First Amendment rights of protesters while simultaneously fulfilling their Title VI obligations to protect students from a hostile environment. This hearing was not just an exchange of words, it was a snapshot of a nation struggling to define the boundaries of speech, the requirements of safety, and the true purpose of its greatest educational institutions. Understanding this balance is essential for any citizen navigating the complex intersection of law, education, and civil rights in the 21st century.